The solution is this: full transparency at the start of relationships. I know that contradicts common sense or normalcy. And what I mean by I mean honest, open, straight up truth from the beginning. It may sound, as they say, weird or cringe or whatever the case may be, but it's think about it, what I'm about to share. The pattern of old has been to not reveal so much up front because you might ruin the potential of the relationship with this individual, or you may be judged, or you may be stereotyped, right? That's been the concern. That's been the apprehension in being fully transparent and honest. Not saying that is the pattern throughout the relationship, just in the beginning, because you want to see this potential mate, you want to show this potential mate your good side. You don't want them to judge them on your bad side before they got a chance to see your good side. That makes complete sense. But that's been the situation going in. But what happens is the truth ultimately comes out and it destroys the relationship in the long run. That's what happens. And it happens in the form of the series that parts 1 and 2 that I mentioned, which is why infidelity comes in. Because you're living a lie. And this is how it works out. You end up showing this potential partner your representative in the beginning, thinking that somewhere along the line in that relationship, you'll be free enough to be able to open up to this individual and then reveal that other side to you that you didn't share before. But what happens is, when that time actually comes, you become so vested and invested in the relationship that you can't risk losing it. So then you end up hiding a part of yourself from your partner who you have started a life with. And then what happens is you end up becoming suffocated. And you need a release and an outlet. And that outlet takes on the form of the infidelity, cheating with somebody who you can express that other side to, that you weren't able to express to the person that you committed to in the first place. And whether that relationship that you committed to in the first place happens to be at the point of matrimony where you're married, this person is your husband or wife, or long-term relationship, that tends to be the outcome. And that's why the relationship never lasts, because you weren't open and honest with the individual, or you had the intent of being honest with them at some point in the relationship after they've gotten to know the other side of you or the good side, and thinking that the side that you're hidden or you're insecure about, or the side that you feel insecure about or lack confidence in, will in some way not outweigh the good that you showed the person in the beginning of the relationship. And it never works out, and I already explained why. Here's the benefit of being open and transparent in the beginning, which is kind of frowned upon or uncomfortable. You let that person know who you are right from the beginning, which then lets you know whether the person will accept you for who you are. Because the other part, or another excuse that I omitted and didn't discuss in the first part, was that excuse where it says people grow apart. No, people don't tend really to grow apart. What happens is the person is tired of living a lie. They want to live their true selves, and in doing that contributes to the gap or break in their relationship. Because now they want to live the other part of their life, and that's what takes on that part in the growing apart, or we grew apart. That's how that happens, from my perspective. So if you're open and honest from the beginning, this person knows your insecurities, your consequence, your flaws, all that stuff. Go into relationships expecting that, expecting it not lasting. I know it sounds pessimistic, but there's a reason behind it. It's not pessimistic, it's realistic. Go into relationships expecting it not to work as a result of your transparency and honesty. That's what I mean by that. You put everything on the line. You put everything on Front Street. Because then that person really gets to see the true you, knows the true you. And if that person doesn't want to be with the true you, you just saved yourself months or even years of wasted time in the relationship and just being left to start all over again. Or being in a relationship and it's called monkey branching and you're keeping one on the side just in case this relationship falls off. So then you develop that pattern. But what you fail to realize is this person knows that you're seeing somebody else. So then they're thinking, okay, if this person did that to the other person, they're going to do that to me. So they're entering into the relationship reserved to or having somebody on the side as well in preparation for you doing it. You see how that vicious cycle works? So it defeats the relationship from the start. So you think you're winning, but you're actually losing. And you're wasting time. You're wasting precious, valuable time from your life that you can't get back. So be open, be honest, be transparent from the beginning. It's not easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. But this is what it results in. You be open and honest from the beginning. The relationship will end before it even starts. You can go through probably 5 or 6 open and, well, I'm not going to say that, probably 10, 15 open and honest. Well, it ranges, okay? I'm not going to put a number to it, but it ranges. Just think about it. You get through those open and honest relationships that didn't last no more than a day or those conversations a week and end up finding the person who accepts you for who you are. No judgment. Who you could be yourself with completely. Where later on in a relationship you don't end up feeling suffocated or end up having to worry about just growing apart or feelings changing. Because this is who you are. You put everything out on Front Street. The person knows who you are and accepts you for who you are. What greater feeling is that? To be loved and accepted for who you truly are. No judgment. And at the same time, there's a consequence to that. And the consequence is you have to accept them for who they are. So you have to do an honest self-assessment and evaluation on yourself. How can you expect or even want someone to accept you for who you are and not accept them for who they are? That's not fair, is it? It's kind of like being a hypocrite or hypocrisy, isn't it? So start off with open and honest, transparent communication from the start. From the very start. And let me go back real quick. The benefits of being open and honest, putting everything out on the table. You save time. You get rid of, in a week, probably whatever the number is, 5, 10, 15 people who will judge you or not respect you for who you are, to finally meet the person who will accept you for who you are. The sacrifice to that is that you have to also be willing to accept them for who they are. Because if you don't, that's being a hypocrite, don't you think? That's hypocrisy. So open and honest communication, transparency, putting everything out on the table, helps you go through a quick elimination, filtering process, and finding the right person for you, as they say, quote unquote, soulmate, right? And accepting who you are, no judgment. You're accepting them for who they are, no judgment. That takes maturity. And if you're not able to accept them for who they are, that's a reflection on you, and it gives you something to work with in regards to growing up and being mature. Because nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect. That includes you. So what right do you have to judge somebody else on their imperfections? Now, if that's the case, you would say, well, that, I mean, is it, where's the, what am I going to say? If that's the case, is there any preference? Is there any type? I might as well just date anybody. No. There's certain things that, you're attracted to or that you like, right? Certain things that line up with your threshold or level of whatever it may be, right? So those are the things that once you've been open and honest with the person, You can work out, customize, adjust, whatever the case may be. But you got the hard part of the job done first. And that is no secrets. Right? Nothing hidden. Everything is out on Front Street, in the forefront. So there's nothing you would have to worry about. Bones and skeletons in your closet, anything coming back up later on and ruining your relationship because you had already revealed it. You have just took the power out of the enemy. You just took the power out of anything that would be detrimental to your relationship. That's the benefit of transparency and being open and honest that you want to start registering. Okay, moving on. Find someone, and I already touched it. So that covers finding someone who loves you and accepts you for who you are. And then we go into the timeline. So this is a big part. Well, the part of the initial video I was talking about 6 months to a year and just communication, and there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is when you communicate with someone, it kind of removes the distraction out of the equation, so to speak, right? When you just speak, I'm just speaking with someone on the phone, not looking at them, no video calls, not in person, just over the phone. It gives you that opportunity to really hear that person without any distractions. It gives that person an opportunity to express, it gives you're both an opportunity to express yourselves and have that open, transparent conversation without any of the distractions. For example, let's say you're talking with this person, a potential mate, and think about it. Let's do two scenarios. One scenario is just over the phone, right? And she's sharing this or he's sharing this stuff with you, being open and honest, talk about like real deep, dark challenges, insecurities, whatever the case may be, and it's just over the phone. So you really don't have an image, right? You don't have any distractions. You don't have an image. So the way you're going to receive that information would be different as opposed to if you saw this person on the phone. Because now if you see this person on the phone, you know, their hair looks made up, you know, she got her makeup on, you know what I mean? She's wearing, you know, looking nice, you know what I'm saying? Or even in person, you try to have this conversation. All those factors, and then she smells good, you know, you gave her a little hug, you got to feel what have you. She say those same exact things that she would say on the phone, but in person it takes a whole different context. In person is something that you would not pay attention to more or brush aside because you're more focused on the aesthetics. You're more focused on how she look, and you're more thinking on, wow, I can't wait, you know, to take this to the other level. That's all you're focusing on. You're not really focusing on what she said. When the things she say could be very impactful to how she is as an individual, how she is as a woman, or how he is as a man, how he approaches life, how he thinks about certain things, you know, maybe not the way you would approach it or the way they approach it, maybe something that might make you uncomfortable, what have you. So if you see this person, if you see this individual in person, you're distracted by all of that and you will brush that aside as opposed to if it was just on the phone. It takes on a whole different connotation, doesn't it? So that's why I emphasize take that time, invest that time, 6 months to have those hard conversations, those transparent and open conversations over the phone before you do a video call, before you meet in person, because it removes those distractions. Now, after that phone conversation where everything was revealed or what have you, and you still are connected to that person, you still want to see that person, you're still interested in that person, then you got the hard part out the way, and now it's just a cakewalk. When you speak to them on the phone, now when you see them, you're connected with them. You're connected with them. You know what it is. That movie, Love is Blind, that TV show on Netflix. A lot of you seen that. Same connotation. Just even think about that, right?